P.
Single clap. Welcome, all our beloved YouTube followers. I am Erraticus, and this fine-looking fellow in the polo, that's Duari, holding up the Pac-Man shirt. That's Omega. You know us from our vidges, and if you don't, you should go watch those and then come back and watch this one again. But we are Uniquely Average Gamers. That is us. We are here. And we are here to give you PrE3, or PrE3, as we have called it. What we're excited for, what we want to see, a little bit of what we might not see, but still looking forward to hearing something on it. So, gonna give it to you quick and dirty. That's how we're gonna do this. Jumping right in to probably our, I would say all three of our most favorites. That is going to be Destiny. So, things that I am excited to see from this. First off, we've all talked about this a bit, but how they're going to handle travel between the planets. I don't know if they're going to give you your own ship, if you're going to be able to do anything in between. You know, Dwar, you'd mentioned dogfights at some point, but some kind of interplanetary travel to get you where you're going. Team play. Are they going to drop us into kind of the usual archetypes we see? Is it going to be, you know, are your warlocks going to be your range? You know, are you going to have tank, healer, that kind of thing? So looking forward to finding a little more about that, kind of the diversity that we can intend to explore. And then probably the thing I'm most excited for is the real-time drop-in. So they had talked about, you know, quests you can do in real time or real-time world events that you'll just show up to, you'll take part, and you'll be on your way. But I know another big thing that's on your list, Dwari, would be multiplayer and what they're doing with that. So what are you looking forward to there?
I'd say the big thing on multiplayer I want to see is, well, of course, character balances. I think one of the biggest things that they're going to have to overcome is the class mechanics clashing with each other. Now, they've already hinted that hunters, with their ghost gun ability, which for those of you who don't know, it's essentially your hunter gets a super-powered magnum that one-shots everything. They say that it's really good in PvP, but I want to see what they mean by that. I want to see if they mean that there's going to be like a rock, paper, scissors style mechanic where your hunters can take out your warlocks, but your warlocks can take out your titans, and your titans can take out your hunters, or if we're going to have good overall balance. I am also really interested to see the different types of game types we can expect. I mean, of course, we're probably going to see deathmatch or some sort of team slayer mechanic, but what about capture the flag? I mean, it's not commonplace for capture the flag to be as prevalent in games nowadays as it was back in, you know, the Halo 2, Halo 3, or even Halo 1 days. But I'm excited to see what type of game modes we're going to get. Also, what type of new ones we're going to get. Are we going to see new mechanics? I mean, when Halo Reach came out, we had the new Invasion play type. That was a game changer. Really excited about that. But I also want to see if we're getting anything new to the mix. But I mean, aside from the multiplayer mechanics, there's other things that we kind of want to explore too, like how the character progression is going to work. We know that there is a mechanic in the game called Glimmer, and Glimmer you spend in your weapons, or at least it's hypothesized that you spend in your weapons to power them up, giving your character new abilities. I want to learn a lot more about that. But that's just me. And like Erad said, all three of us have something we're looking forward to.
Yep.
So I'm more of a PvP kind of guy in almost every game I play. I mean, I can't deny that either of you two are either. We tend to play all together, but I mean, there's a myriad of things that we can look at. I don't know. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely most excited for at E3 is the beta announcement, like a hard date. I want to see like exactly when I get hands on it, because I'm not going to E3, and so the soonest I'm going to get to play is when that beta launches. I'm already locked up on that beta key. It's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. But so moving on to the next game we're going to talk about, one that I know, Eric, you're real excited for. You've been looking out about this. Halo 5 Guardians. Tell us what you want to see, number one thing you want to see at E3.
So the biggest thing for me is that I know 343 took a lot of flack for the past Halo, for Halo 4, both, you know, narrative and just kind of overall gameplay. It seems like no one's going to be satisfied with a Halo, you know, since probably, what, second or third Halo? I mean, everyone kind of clings to the beginning ones. So I'm excited to see where 343 is going to take the story, and a big part of that is from what they've said from the past E3, I believe it was, where the head of 343 had described it as a journey that you're going to be taking, but then they announced that the game was going to be 2015. So there's been a lot of talk around what the meaning of what she's saying is really like. What's this journey we're going to start? Is it going to be something like a mini game? Is it going to be a series like Forward Unto Dawn something? So looking forward to seeing what that is. And then another thing is who's this mystery Spartan? Is it Cortana in disguise, or it's Cortana in disguise? We can move on.
What it is.
I'm excited to see who that is, regardless. But I like multiplayer, but it's not been my biggest concern with Halo. I'm interested more so in where they're going to take the story, because this is such a far leap from where they've been. There's kind of been a formula to it last time where it's like Master Chief's part of the UNSC. He's going after the Covenant. He's going after the Flood. He's going after, like, you're just introducing new aliens. So since he's no longer with the UNSC, it would seem, I'm interested to see where they'll go from there. But speaking of things that have been delayed, The Division. And I know Mr. Omega here. I know you have some choice thoughts for that.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm okay.
It's okay.
Right.
We're here for you, bro.
Okay. Yeah, they released a trailer back at E3 2013, and I fell in love instantly. Really excited to play that. And they actually just released a trailer a couple days ago, depending on when this goes up, saying that The Division will be premiered at the Ubisoft press conference. So I'm going to be checking that out. I want to see just more of everything. I want to see some specifics on like classes, how the classes are built. Is it like a free range point system, or is it in a tier where you're playing this style and they build out this way, or you're playing this style and they play totally differently? I definitely want to see kind of more of the fifth party member, the tablet and phone, if that's probably just tablet, or how that's going to work. I want to see that. I just want to see more of that too, because I thought that was really innovative to say, hey, games are no longer 4-person cooperative. They're now 5-person cooperative. That to me changes the game. Really, really big deal. And then lastly, I definitely think one thing that I know caught Dwari's attention was the very end of that trailer where they said, prepare for combat. And it's this idea of you get your shiny loot and then you got to fight for it against other human players. And I know that just got everybody going. We're really excited for that.
I really wanted to see, if what they're saying is that at the end of each mission, you're going to get some sort of power weapon. And then at that power weapon, you launch a flare, and that begins the final phase of your mission, which is essentially extraction, where other people can come in and take your weapon. How powerful are these weapons that it's going to be motivating for people to come in and take that from you? And for that matter, do we actually get to see any of them in action? And by action, I don't mean blowing up an NPC. I mean, I want to see it melt another player's face.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just me.
Yeah, so we're definitely, I know, really excited for that and want to see more, just a whole lot more. And, we love Ubisoft as a team, and so we're really excited to see what they can bring us.
Oh, yeah.
So moving on to another game from them, Far Cry 4.
I am ecstatic for Far Cry 4. I didn't play Far Cry 1 or Far Cry 2, and then I randomly picked up Far Cry 3 at a recommendation from a friend, and I could not put it down. I literally could not put it down.
Stuck to his
I
hand.
would play until 4 o'clock in the morning, exploring every nook and cranny of this huge island that they had made. And then they say that they're going to have a fourth one. Now, one of the big things about the fourth one that has me really excited is that it's a departure from their original type. It's no longer on that tropical island. We're getting a little bit of diversity. You could say it's a Far Cry from the third game. But seriously, the game is set in the Himalayas, and you get to ride elephants, which makes me think that maybe you can ride other animals. But in addition to that, what about the Himalayas are going to change the gameplay. At the end of the third Far Cry, spoiler alert, you got a wingsuit, and that allowed you to glide around the island. But if you have a mountainous setting, you have a huge new aspect of verticality of where you can glide from. I don't know, maybe there's rocket packs that you can glide up. Well, I guess that wouldn't make sense, but you can shoot up.
Or maybe you can go rock climbing, or there's just a lot of different ways that.
Or maybe you just mount a goat, and that's how you ascend the mountain.
It's actually
Goat Simulator,
Goat
bro.
Simulator 4 Far Cry crossover.
I thought they were making a crossover, yeah.
That's
Yep.
happening.
It's real popular with the kids.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely something we're looking forward to. They've said it's going to be there, and we're definitely excited to see more of what they bring for that.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next thing, switching gears a little bit here. Eric, tell me about this Zelda Wii U game and how pretty that is.
So, I love Zelda. I think I have owned a Zelda game on I think every single console that there has been one on. Maybe minus the 3DS or any DSs. I haven't owned those. But I'm excited because they've gone through so many different, over the years, so many different graphical styles. You look at like Twilight Princess, it took the real kind of dark realism to it. And then Wind Waker took like the cell shading fun, which actually turned out to be
beautiful.
I know.
Yeah. It's almost like you have a Zelda decoration.
It's like that's.
It's
how much
almost
you love
like
it.
it's there, and I like it. But
It's almost like this guy always played Young Link in Smash Brothers.
he did. That was me. I did that. But I'm excited to see which visual style they're going to go with because they have teased a little bit of demo footage with the giant spider and Link, but I don't think that that's necessarily a way of saying that they're locked in on that, because they made plenty of changes to past visual styles that they've gone, and they've gone through so many different visual styles over the course of the Zelda series' life that I'm interested to see what they're going to do. So visual style is a big thing for me. They've mentioned that they're going to explore breaking the linear progression of Zelda, so it's not just Dungeon 1 get the hook shot, Dungeon 2 use the hook shot to get the slingshot. Like it's not that kind of progression. That's what they're trying to break. So looking forward to seeing that. And then they'd even mentioned something about multiplayer. I don't know how I feel about multiplayer. I mean, is it like, are we going to take like a Child of Light scenario where one person's controlling Link and the other person gets Navi or some form of fair? I mean,
You would hate me as Navi.
No, because all it would be is hey, listen.
Hey, listen.
Are you
That's
trying to
all it
listen
would
to the
be.
story? Listen to the story.
But that's basically in a nutshell what I'm looking forward to. While I was looking up some Zelda stuff last week, actually, I came across a video from Insomniac Games' YouTube channel from one of their series called Sunset TV, and this will be a game that I know Omega specifically is looking forward to, but they mentioned that there's going to be an event in my city, in Santa Monica, where they're going to hold an event for people to actually get their hands on Sunset Overdrive. So I'll have some thoughts on that later, but for now, Omega, what do you want to see?
Yeah, anything and everything. Sunset Overdrive, they showed it a little bit last year. I want to see in-game actual game footage as opposed to pre-rendered CG. I want to see multiplayer. I want to see how it all works together. It's a gorgeous looking game for one. It
reminds me of Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio,
Jet
either
Set
of those
Radio.
two, if you guys remember them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely got a great art style. And then take the over-the-shoulder shooter with the parkour elements of a lot of games we've seen. I just think it's really a game that's not taking itself too seriously. In fact, yeah, I just think that's going to be really good and just really fun to play. So excited to see more of that and kind of just how it all works together.
Color vomit is our word for it.
Yeah, it's a good word for it.
It's a great
Now
word.
it's going to be good, and I to shift it completely away from happy color vomit. I'm going to steal the floor again to talk about The Evil Within because I cannot wait. I feel like I mean these are the same creators of Resident Evil, so I think it's a good chance for them to break out of the mold of kind of what survival horror has fallen into, where it's become a little predictable. It's not even so much about either element anymore. It's like the last time we've talked about this all because we all played Resident Evil 5 and 6 a lot, and 4 too. But I think 6 was kind of where we all dropped off a bit because combat is almost getting too easy. So you're losing some of the horror. Well, you're losing a lot of the survivor part of it because it's so easy to survive. Even on professional, I know we all went through and got those achievements, but the horror bit of it too is kind of predictable. I mean, they started combating the fact in Resident Evil that they had to go beyond zombies. That's where you got like the Plagos, and then you got the giant like Goliath, or not. He's not the Goliath, but
Gigante.
he had a name. Thank you, El Gigante. God damn it, that name. But that was kind of how they tried to tackle horror, I think, or that's how they tried to modernize it a bit. And I don't really think it worked. I mean, it was fun, but it still didn't feel like there was a high risk to it. So I'm looking forward for Evil Within to kind of see all these like grotesque, crazy characters they've got. The trailer showed this guy who seems to be almost like Wesker-like, really quick, kind of maybe has some psychic ability, but don't know a ton about the story other than you're a cop who has wandered into some mansion, Arklay Mountains. Where did we see this, Resident Evil 1?
Just take a look at this.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to kind of revitalize that whole genre a bit, so we can, I don't know, reclaim pieces of horror and survivor that I want so desperately. I kind of miss not being able to sleep at night after I play a game.
Mm-hmm.
I like actually
courage breaks.
Yeah,
I gotta pause this game. I need a courage break.
Yeah, so that's basically what I'm looking forward to. It looks pretty promising, but there was another game on our list that I've actually know nothing about. So I think this is going to be one that Omega you'll have to take. It was Hunt, Horrors of a Gilded Age. I know nothing about
Watch
it.
it.
So yeah, get ready. I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you. This is a really brand new game. Haven't heard a whole lot about it. It just came out. We're gonna see more at E3. Definitely excited for that. There was a really quick trailer. Basically, a little bit of background. This game comes from the same studio that did Darksiders and Darksiders 1. That studio is called Vigil. After Darksiders 2, that studio broke up and very quickly was picked up by Crytek. And so then they've been working on something for a while now, Hunt. And it's a multiplayer shooter set in the 1800s. And it kind of connects this realism with your characters and the archetypes you have. And you're all like these demon hunters with different abilities. You've got your big brawler guy, and you've got kind of an alchemist type looking guy, like Sherlock Holmesy kind of. And it's procedurally generated. This is the thing that caught me. It's procedurally generated. So what that means is every time you go into a dungeon or map or setting, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a new experience every time. It's going to have the different enemy waves, all sorts of these really cool things going on and they're saying it's going to be different every time you go in and play it. So if I haven't gotten you excited yet, this is a game from a studio that has made AAA titles very successfully. This game, free to play. They've talked about monetization being aesthetic things. They haven't released a whole lot about the monetization, but they're definitely, I think, this could be this next game that we see do free to play with monetization done correctly. The first of which, League of Legends. It's a free game that's based on skill that makes their money by giving you things that you want that have really no effect on the gameplay.
None of that pay to win nonsense.
Right. And I read an article about it, and they really are talking about how they want to do it right. It's coming to PC and to consoles. They haven't said exactly what consoles yet. They're kind of in contract negotiations, so they can't say anything yet. But I'm hopeful. I want to see gameplay footage because like I said, this is like a week old news, and you should definitely check it out. It's it's looking really good. So
Now, Crytek, that's the people behind Crysis, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken.
Right.
Crysis 2, Crysis 3.
Yeah.
Those games are awesome. If
Yeah.
you haven't played them, first off, they're the benchmark for technological performance of your PC. They are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Even on the Xbox 360, which is what I played Crysis 2 on,
Yep,
it looked like
yeah.
it was current gen. It looked like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. It's insane. It's insane.
So that's going to wrap up our big headline titles that we're really excited for. We've got a couple more that we're going to run down really fast. First off is Smash Bros. There's going to be a big tournament at E3. We're all real excited to see that.
Very.
And Ben, tell me, who are you most excited about character-wise you've seen this far?
Ooh, there's a lot of them. There's Captain Olimar. I really like Captain Olimar because I was a big fan of the Pikmin games. Pikachu is my go-to. I really like the space critters because in every single Smash Brothers, that's Star Fox, Falco, Wolf. All of them have always been out of the park. Really good characters. Marth is coming back. He's another good one of mine.
Definitely.
I mean, we just got this huge list of characters.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm pretty sure one of the new characters, Eradicus, is up the wall about, and I wonder who that could be.
I wonder if I have him on another wall. I can't get him. It's Mega Man.
That's kind of a glare.
It's Mega Man.
It's Mega Man.
I wonder if you can see it through this giant glare.
It's
Yeah.
Rockman.
Mega Man. And then I would die if they threw in Zero as an unlockable character.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things to be really excited about, and to see it in the hands of professional gamers who are playing Smash, as opposed to just a dev trailer. No offense to devs out there, but it just doesn't have the same effect as when you put the game in a gamer's hand.
Oh, yeah.
It really changes everything. Not to mention a professional gamer's hand. So, moving on to the next game that we're really excited for, Eric, tell me about Evolve real quick. What do you want to see at E3?
I want to see everything I can. I just want to know what their plan for replay value is, because Left 4 Dead is great, but it has a shelf life. I feel like you play through the campaign, which had maybe 4 stories initially, 4 or 5 short campaigns, and they all have the same general dynamic: point A to point B, and don't die, don't lose your partners. This one's a little different. You've got the monster. The monster runs away, pretty much farms up, gets huge, and then turns on the hunters and fights them. So I like the dynamic that's going to keep them constantly head to head and searching for each other at different points in the game.
Yeah. Well, and we've also seen there's the 4 new characters that they've released that we didn't see before in the first trailer. Definitely want to see some more of those mechanics. So now there's 8. So you have all sorts of choices, including a robot who takes off his head.
Yep. I am thrilled for that.
Yeah, another thing real quick about, we saw a little teaser for it last E3, but really we need more, especially with the Star Wars franchise kind of tapering off a little bit in the late years. A couple games really looked forward to that got canceled. So we need a little bit of boost in the Star Wars department. So Ben, Star Wars Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront, I am salivating to learn more about this game. One thing that I cannot wait for about this game is just learning how it's going to operate. Are they going to keep the old model, which was relatively third-person shooter, and you had your Rebel faction and your Empire faction, and you could get into any vehicle, practically any vehicle from the Star Wars universe.
Right.
You could get into a TIE fighter, an X-Wing, and just go on bombing runs, or get in an AT-AT and storm Hoth and get all these cool things. And we know AT-ATs are probably going to be in the game because we saw a giant AT-AT teaser through it all, so I'm assuming they're not going to get rid of that. Yeah. But I also want to see just how it's going to be structured. Are they going to take from Battlefield, which has if you ask me, it has a very, very good system to it. Long domination-style maps. I want to see that, and I want them to be long, and I want there to be tons of bots that I can murder, and I just want I want to be the one stormtrooper who can hit his target.
Yeah, well, and definitely the other thing about that too is it is being developed by DICE, and they're best known for their Battlefield games. That's a 64 player, right? 32 on 32.
It is.
So what if we saw 32 on 32 Star Wars Battlefront? I mean, I'm just saying here, that would be incredible. So
If you don't think it's going to happen, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
So we're gonna.
That feels like a good place to stop.
Or is it? My elbow. Did you hear that? Sounded like a Smurf just burped in my elbow.
So last but certainly not least, the Xbox project that they're talking about, the new Phil Spencer, the new CEO of that game, of Xbox, is
that company that we can't say because it triggers our devices.
So Phil Spencer, the new CEO of Xbox, has said that this E3 is going to be all about the games. I really want to see that true. I've really liked some of the things that he's done, some of the changes that have been made since he's been the new CEO, and I want to see more games. That's really why I got the Xbox, is because I want to see more games. Sony, on the other hand, I want to see. There's been rumors that Project Morpheus is going to be revealed, which is their virtual reality headset for the PlayStation 4. Definitely excited to see how that is, if that's coming soon, if that'll be this year or next. I want to know more about that. I definitely want to see.
I agree. I want to know about it. I want to know how it incorporates into the current DualShock controller. I mean, they revealed when they announced Project Morpheus that the region for the motion sensor within that was part of the Project Morpheus project itself. Right. So, I mean, what is that going to entail? How many different capabilities are we going to see? You know, just being able to immerse yourself into something like that, while going to be particularly damning to my social life, is going to be awesome. But then again, there's tons of things that are going to be pretty bad to my social life.
It's pretty interesting though too, because I think you could, just a quick thought would be, you look at what the Wii has done and the Wii U, and the fact that they introduced motion controls, and I don't know how much that's played into people's desire to own the system, but I think there's going to come a point where, you know, VR is nice and taking it to the next level is really cool, but how much of your physical activity do you really want to get involved in the game? You know, yeah, so I think that that's going to be something, not to pinpoint all gamers as not being active, but it's just when you're playing a game, I feel like you want the power to come from your mind, not necessarily how quickly you can swing your remote to do something. So I'm also pretty interested to see what Sony's going to do there. But closing thoughts, Omega. What are you looking at?
Destiny. Destiny, Division. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's it. Don't worry.
I'd say I had 5 games I was looking forward to at E3. Destiny, Far Cry 4, Star Wars Battlefront, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Final Fantasy 15. But we heard a press release from Square Enix that we're not going to get that we're not going to get Kingdom Hearts, and I think by proxy Final Fantasy 15 at E3. So I am now depressed.
Perfect. I am also pretty thrilled to see of that list you said, at least Final Fantasy. It looks beautiful. I want to see what they do with it. But my list is going to have to be Destiny, of course. I want to see The Evil Within. I need another horror game. Want to see a little bit of Zelda and Halo. I want to see where it's going. But
that's where it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if maybe there's something that we missed that you want to see, that you're really excited for at E3. Be sure to check back in with us. We're going to do one of these after we've seen everything at E3. And so
we'll break it all down.
Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next time.